I was working at Stanford, so I went to the Stanford Library and checked out all their books in the homosexual section, which are mostly about men. And eventually I realized I had a lot of books at home that had lesbian sections, which had just sort of just sort of skimmed it over. And there's a book called Lesbian Woman, and that helped me. There are certain signifiers that lesbians seem to have, and it's a little checklist. Were you called a tomboy as a child? Yes, I was. My mother called me all kinds of names, and that was one of them. Did you like dressing in boys' clothes? Yes, I wore my younger brother's jeans, cast-off jeans and his cast-off shirts until I grew out of them, which is about the age of probably 14 or 15, and I remember the exact time it happened. I was walking to the store, and I was wearing this great flannel shirt that I got from him, and it wouldn't fit me anymore. I kept trying to pull it down, to keep it, but it wasn't long enough. And I realized that I was becoming a girl, and that I would have to give up my dream that I was always going to be a boy. I don't know, it just sort of hit me in those terms. I'm walking to the store, I'm looking at myself, and I'm thinking, oh, you are a girl. It's like, okay, that's just how it is, and so you're just going to have to live with it. But I was able to continue wearing blue jeans, and I had my own flannel shirts that fit me, actually, so I was able to do that. I could be very boyish at summer camp, but at school, of course, in my school days, you wore dresses. You didn't wear jeans to school. I don't think I've ever felt, I don't know if I've ever felt comfortable with my gender. And I look back on this early time, which is a long time ago at this point, 60 years ago. I try to remember things. But I'm a Taurus person, so my favorite fruit is actually a potato. But I think it's just the way my persona is you just accept what is and work it out. You just take it. Things are dropped on you, things happen, you accept it, you work through it, you handle it. That's what I do. And I think those are good skills to have when you're a mother, especially, or in a bad marriage you don't particularly like. You just handle it. So I think that's what happened with me. You accept it, okay, this is what I am. You just accept it, okay, do it. And, but gender-wise, I don't think I ever was. My girlfriends were saying, oh, we're gonna have a boy-girl party. And I said, why? Why do we have to have boys? Well, that's what you do. We have to have boys in our party. And so I went to this party, managed not to have a boy there, but met a boy there. So that's fate. You meet a boy, you're suddenly got this guy that makes you feel acceptable within your family. Your mother is so happy for you, and you're doing the right thing, and yeah, I don't need to go to college. Well, just get married. So, so at that point, I was okay. That was good. I got this husband. We had a lot of folk music. We didn't have any money. Things were always happening in that score. And actually, frankly, I was even ready to get divorced, but then I got pregnant. And so it's having a child turns everything differently. If I've always believed I could never raise a child on my own, and that it was good for a child to have a father. And my husband was a good father, especially as the kids got older. He was a very good father, and even though not such a great husband, it was like having 3 kids instead of 2, actually. But you know, it's one of those things, you just handle it. And in the back of my mind, somehow I knew that when this youngest boy, and the second one was 18, that's when I could leave home. I just had made that sort of commitment to myself. And then as it turned out, that's what happened. So he was 18, going to college. My husband and I were not having much of a relationship. I had a full-time job. I felt I could handle it on my own. I had enough of a salary. I was going to be okay. It was a good time to leave. My kids were launched, and it's funny when you come out at my age, for me, and I think also for other women that were coming out at the same time, at the same age. It was like starting your life all over again. It was like I went back to being 18. I was doing things I would have done at 18 that I never had a chance to do. I was just so proud of myself. I was at this group where people were taking turns hanging on to this rope from this tree and going across a canyon. And I thought, okay, let's do it. You know, you're almost 50 years old. Well, no problem. And other things like that. It was fun. I did many crazy things. And, you know, you have to compress all that, though, because you're already 50 years old. But it worked out well. My daughter had gone to Mount Holyoke, and when I came out to her, she thought, wow, that was the greatest thing in the world. Something to just, I got a mom that's a lesbian. It's like, huh. And my son, one of you is polyamorous. Yeah. He took up polyamory when he went to Seattle as a young man. And so, you know, I'm feeling I'm just actually like I've had a very interesting life. And even though you make many sacrifices to have children, and they are really terrible sacrifices that you make, but if you survive it, then you have very many good benefits. It's like working a job you don't really like for 20 years, but at the end you get some great pension or whatever.
My name is Maxwell Anderson, and I use he, him, or they, them pronouns.
My name is Pat Santiago. My pronouns are they, them.
Hi everyone, my name is Eliseo Rivas, and my pronouns are they, them.
My name is Sunshine Hartwell, and my pronouns are he, him.